Hey everyone, it's Matt here. Welcome back to another episode of Savant's Tech Talk. Facial recognition. The technology that maps, evaluates, and then confirms the identity of a face in an image or video is one of the most robust surveillance tools ever made. While many people interact with this technology merely as a way to unlock their phones or to arrange their photos, how businesses and governments use it will have a deeper impact on our lives. When it's a smartphone or a device you own or a software tool that you use, you may be able to turn off the technology. But still, it's the ubiquity of cameras that makes the technology extremely difficult to avoid in public. People have reported concerns related to the ubiquity, added by the evidence of racial profiling and protester identification, which have caused leading tech organizations such as Microsoft, Amazon, and IBM to stand still on selling their software tools to law enforcement. However, as standstills pass and facial recognition technology gets better and more affordable, society will need to answer the big questions about how the technology should be regulated. Society will also need to answer the small questions about which services people are willing to use, and which privacy sacrifices people are willing to make. Since many features of facial identification are embedded in today's smartphones and devices, most people are familiar with the idea of facial recognition technology. But they might not know the exact workings of it or realize how many software tools and applications use this technology to run. In today's video, we'll look at how facial recognition technology works and the features of facial recognition technology. As always, if you find this topic interesting, then you can let us know by hitting that like button and subscribing to this channel for more videos. You can also let us know if you find it interesting by saying so in the comments section down below. Now let's jump into it. So how does facial recognition technology work? Most people have seen facial recognition used in movies for years now, but it's hardly depicted in the right way. Every facial recognition system works in a different way, often built on algorithms. But you can classify the process into three basic types of technology. First is detection. Detection is the process of discovering a face in a photograph. If you've ever used a camera that identifies a face and puts a green box around it to autofocus, then you've seen this technology. On its own, it's only responsible for finding a face and not the identity behind it. Second is attribution. Attribution, or analysis, is the step that maps the faces in the images. It often does it by measuring the distance between the eyes and between the nose and mouth and the shape of the chin, and then converts it into a string of points or numbers, also referred to as a face print. So for example, Snapchat filters or Instagram use the same technology. Even though attribution suffers from glitches, especially in terms of misidentification, that's generally problematic only when the string of numbers is added to a recognition database. And third is recognition. Recognition is the process of confirming the identity of a person in a photograph. It's used for verification, such as in a security feature in a new device, or for identification, which tries to answer the question, who is in this image? And this is where facial recognition technology comes into the creepier side of things. The detection phase of this technology begins with an algorithm that learns what a face is in a picture. Usually the creator of the proprietary algorithm does this by inputting photos of faces. If you train the algorithm with enough pictures, it learns the difference between a face and a non-living entity over time. Add another algorithm for attribution and another for recognition, and you've got yourself a facial recognition system. The variety of pictures inputted into the system has a deeper impact on its precision during the analysis and recognition steps. For instance, if the sample sets mostly include men's faces, which was the case in the training of early recognition systems, then the programs will struggle to precisely recognize people of color's faces as well as women's. Some of the best facial recognition systems have already begun correcting this in recent years. However, white males are still wrongly matched less frequently compared to other groups. A few systems misidentify some people from other groups 100 times more often than white males. Once a company trains its algorithm or feeds data into its software to identify or recognize faces, it can then find and core them with other faces in the database. This is the identification step, where the system studies a database of pictures and cross-references to try to recognize a person based on pictures from different sources. It then shows the outcomes, usually ranking them by accuracy. These software tools sound complex, But you can build your own facial recognition system yourself with off-the-shelf software with ample technical skill. Now let's have a look at some of the features as well as some of the things that you should know about facial recognition technology. Racial bias and a dependency on probability are major concerns. Facial recognition systems run based on probabilities. So for example, this is an 85% match to Clint Eastwood kind of thing. Unfortunately, some facial recognition tools have issues with racial bias. According to a study released by CBS in June of 2020, this issue is far from being solved. As highlighted in the CBS study, as a result of issues about racial bias, IBM announced that it's halting its facial recognition research. Second thing you should know is it's only as good as the data that it was trained with. Facial recognition technology is an AI-based technology. So this means that it's only as good as the data that it was trained with. So this further implies that it's naturally inclined to develop biases. To guarantee ethical and fair use of this technology, researchers and leaders should make use of the best practices and techniques to reduce the risks, including transparency based on the health of these models, data sets, end-to-end visibility, and proactive bias detection. This technology can identify objects. The facial recognition tools being used are much more versatile than we consider. A few of them can also be used for object recognition. So this implies that these algorithms can be trained to identify and classify non-living entities such as colors, cars, buses, trees, and clothes, and really anything that you can think of, and do so at a large scale. It can add security to customer experience. Facial recognition technology provides extreme value by introducing an extra level of security to customer experience. But regulations can reduce the scope and capacity at which businesses can use it. Businesses and consumers alike should learn applicable data privacy laws, since they can vary according to country. Also, companies should be transparent about how captured data will be stored and later used. Facial recognition technology has the potential to streamline many aspects of our lives. This technology studies facial features to identify and verify people. Although a few things do need to be addressed, the technology has the potential to help ease travel, streamline monetary exchanges, detect conditions, identify threats, and so much more. Technology specialists aren't the only ones discussing the present scenario and future prospects of facial recognition technology. Politicians, researchers, human rights advocates, and others are studying its prospects and limitations. So there we have it. Everything that you need to know about facial recognition technology. Once again, if you found this video interesting, don't forget to let us know by hitting that like button and subscribing to this channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.